Hi, this is Jeff Moore with DryIceTips.com, and I'm in my Wild Things Seafood 10,000 square foot freezer right now to make a point. We keep our products frozen solid. All of our product is caught, handled, and processed to be frozen, and frozen solid when it ships to you. Now, in order to maintain this same environment, we have to ship to you with dry ice. And a lot of people, when they get dry ice, don't necessarily know what to do with it, or even what dry ice is. First and foremost, really quickly, I interviewed an absolute world expert on dry ice. Somebody that was in the dry ice business for a long time. And the things that I got out of this interview that you will see after this little intro here, taught me these quick bullet points, so we'll get these out of the way. Dry ice is actually a gas that is put into a solid form, CO2 in a solid form, at 109 degrees below zero. Dry ice has more cooling power than regular ice, and because it's a gas, does not leave water like regular ice does. Dry ice can burn you. You do not want to touch it directly. Dry ice, you want to handle dry ice anytime you're handling it, you want to make sure you're wearing gloves. You do not want to keep a bunch of dry ice in a closed car and then go out and seal the car and then come back in. There will be no oxygen in that car. Take it from me, I'm the idiot that's done it before. Keep out of reach of children. Do not let children touch dry ice. Children like to put things in their mouth, and that's not a good place for dry ice. Do not put dry ice in a sealed container. You're going to see a lot of funny things on the internet and things like that. It is dangerous. When you put dry ice into a sealed container and solid, it'll start to expand and it will explode. Now, these are just some quick tips. The interview that you're going to see after this is with Mike Clapp, who is in the dry ice business and is the smartest guy I know in the world of whatever ology it is that talks about dry ice. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, and watch this interview on the backside here. Hi, this is Jeff Moore from Wild Things Seafood, and as you notice when you receive your box, that there are there's dry ice pellets in the box, and so what I wanted to do is create a website at DryIceTips.com that talked about the handling, the proper handling and the safe handling of the dry ice when you receive it, because a lot of people don't know what to do with it, and I just want to make sure we are handling that properly and safely. And what I did is I looked around for an expert, and we are actually in a school right now. Why don't you get a little closer to me here, Mike? There we go. We're in a school right now, and Mike Clapp is a high school counselor, but in his last life, he was a dry ice expert. Now, Mike, what makes you a dry ice expert?
Well, before I went back to grad school to become a counselor, I worked in the CO2 and dry ice industry for about 16 years, I guess, thereabouts, and we were manufacturers and retailers of dry ice in all forms. So sometimes in liquid CO2, also in gas cylinder CO2, but the bulk of the thing was in dry ice, whether that be in solid dry ice or crushed dry ice or pellets.
Nice. What is dry ice?
Well, the best way to describe it is it's CO2 in a solid form. So if just like you have wet ice or H2O, when it's a solid form, we call that ice. When you have CO2, the same bubbles that are in Cokes, let's say, the same bubbles that are in Cokes, that's just CO2. And when it's in a solid state, we call that dry ice. It's at minus 109 degrees.
The reason when we talked about safe handling, is dry ice dangerous?
Well, I don't know about dangerous. The handling of it, you have to have some certain, keep certain things in mind when you're handling it. You know, obviously when people say it's minus 109, you don't want to touch it. I mean, dry ice, I guess, the best way to say it is you would always want to use gloves when you handle the thing. And a lot of people, I don't know whether it's they're associating dry ice with a Halloween party or with some music video and the fog
thing like that.
But what you have here right now is warm air coming in, interacting with the cold dry ice, and you have that vapor it's changing state right before your eyes there.
Okay.
But you really wouldn't want to touch it with your hands for very long. If you did, it would give you like a frostbite symptom. It would literally turn your hand or whatever it was touching white. It would freeze it. If we left it out like this, just as you've been blowing on it and letting the hot air, this would be gone here in a couple hours, maybe an hour at the most.
Okay.
You know,
keep out of reach of children.
Definitely don't want any kids doing it.
What if somebody was to put it in their mouth? What would happen?
It would freeze whatever it touches. So if it's touching the roof of your mouth, you'd have a frozen. You'd burn the heck out of the inside of the, deaden your cells and
Don't
burn
put
it
it where pets or children can get to it.
No, the biggest thing is just you keep it aside. Don't let anyone near it. Let it do its natural thing and go up into smoke, and you're going to be fine. If you took one of the things that you definitely don't want to do is take this, let's say, a little piece of it, and put it in a stoppered container.
What's a stoppered container?
Oh, like let's say you had an old 1 gallon milk container, or one of those Pepsi 2-liter deals, and you put a little bit of water in it, and then you threw some dry ice in it and closed it up. Well, as you can see, you just blowing on it created a lot of gas.
Yeah.
And as that gas has no place to go, it's going to finally hit the point where it's going to blow. And then when it blows, it can really cause a lot of damage. So, you don't want to confine it into a stopper container. You don't want to touch it. If you don't have gloves handy, I'd recommend you use the best gloves you have. Garden gloves would be fine.
But don't put it in the sink or anything like that. I mean,
no, it's going to freeze everything it touches. So some people, if you put it on linoleum, it would actually embrittle the linoleum into where you would maybe break it.
So we don't want any. And you can see, I mean, I'm saying keep it out of reach of children, but this thing's in front of me and I can hardly stay away from it. I'm like blowing on it, doing all this stuff. And so this is a very attractive thing, when people see this. And like you were talking about, they have memories of like Halloween and things like that.
I think that beyond, dry ice is kind of like, to me, like fireworks. Like you can ooh and ah at the thing for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes at the most. After that, it's like what else you want to do. Same thing with dry ice at a party or video at a concert. If they spewed dry ice fog at a concert for an hour and a half, people would go, "Will you turn the fog off, please?" Or it's same thing with if you're using it for a party, you're trying to get an ooh and ah effect on Halloween. Let everybody see it, bring it out, let them see it for 10 minutes, let the fog do its thing, and then kind of go on and finish the rest of your fun.
So it sounds like you're not going to be held responsible for giving anybody some cool tips today.
I don't think so, but I think unfortunately, the internet is such that there's way more creative ways to use so many different things. I'm sure dry ice is one of them. I haven't really checked it out, but I'm sure there are.
Well, that's Mike Clapp. This is Dry Ice Tips, and I'm Jeff Moore from Wild Things Seafood. Hopefully this was valuable to you and helped you in handling your dry ice. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.